Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabor.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal, EcoBank.
We have the men. We have the men who can handle this situation. Our eyes are red for Courier, and nobody should think of coming to cause trouble.
Inspector General of Police Christian Tete Yohuno talks tough ahead of Akwetia by-election.
And also coming up tonight, Energy Minister announces major boost in gas production expected to reach 120 million metric standard cubic feet per day.
And also coming up, is your delivery guy licensed? Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission cracks down on unlicensed courier services.
In business news, President John Mahama expresses confidence of further upward adjustment in Ghana's credit rating ahead of the next IMF review.
And on the international front, gunmen in northwest Nigeria storm mosque, killing Muslim worshippers in what local government has called a reprisal attack. We have details of all these stories and more. We are also live on 3news.com. That's our website, and streaming on Facebook as well. So do let your comments come in.
In our first story, the Energy Ministry has told the Appointments Committee of Parliament that it is struggling to retrieve over 120,000 cedis from a former employee. The said employee was granted a 2-year study leave with pay but failed to serve her bond term. Meanwhile, the Roads Ministry has assured that the Pokwase-Nsawam Road is a priority and will be completed soon.
A number of ministries and agencies appeared before the Public Accounts Committee on Wednesday to answer questions contained in the Auditor General's 2024 report. This includes the Office of Government Machinery and the Defense Ministry, under which the Ghana Navy was cited for an uncompetitive procurement process involving over 100,000 Ghana cedis, which was referred to the Attorney General for prosecution.
She returned back to the ministry but failed to serve a bond term of 2 years.
The Ministry of Energy was cited for 2 major infractions, including unearned salaries paid to undeserving staff. The other issue had to do with a former employee who was granted a 2-year study leave with pay but failed to serve her bond term.
The ministry have taken the necessary steps to treat the funds for the officer by writing to the officer and the guarantor of the officer. So revenue is very restoring. Some months ago, the ministry began work to process out to let us find out whether the laws is there, and we will start Jackson. He has traveled outside the jurisdiction.
It's Miss Yasewa, isn't that
No,
so?
that is so honorable.
Do you have any idea where she's going to? Either US or
That is still the bags. Mr. Chair, we are told that you've gone to the US.
she's going to the US?
That is so.
Oh, Master, just get the police. They will find her in the US. The government cannot pay for people to go for steady leave and then when they finish, they are scorned. That is not fair. And the guarantor over here to let the police visit him.
The last to appear before the committee on Wednesday was the Roads and Highways Ministry, which was cited for a number of infractions, including delayed execution of road project. The Member of Parliament from Prayeso, Davis Ansopoku, asked a question about the ministry's plan to complete the Pokwase-Nsawam Road.
This week, we've seen that the contractor is on site. Is it just those of patches? Or it's you ensure completion of the work? And they will need that commitment. I have my minister's permission to first of all apologize to all motorists on that stretch. It's one of the hot potatoes that we inherited at the ministry. But this particular contractor, unfortunately, has received some payment and has now adequately mobilized back to site. And it is our hope that before the end of this year, some significant improvement would have been noticed on that road. And so it's not going to be a 9-day wonder.
The Deputy Minister called on the Finance Ministry to release funds timely to be able to pay contractors to execute road projects.
Now, the Ministry of Energy and the minister in charge of that ministry, John Abdullah-Jinapor, has announced a major boost in gas production expected to reach 120 million metric standard cubic feet per day. He was speaking in an interview after inspecting maintenance works at the Atuabo site of the Ghana National Gas Company Limited in the Elembele district in the Western region. Irama Smith has more.
The Ghana National Gas Company Limited has begun a scheduled 10-day maintenance shutdown to ensure operational integrity and safety. Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullah-Jinapor, has announced that the project will boost gas production to approximately 120 million metric standard cubic feet per day upon completion.
Indeed, on assumption of office, I asked for a report on the integrity of the plant. And I'm convinced, based on what the Chief Executive and the team presented, is that we needed to undertake this exercise in order to ensure the integrity, the safety, and long-term sustainability of the plant. And so over the next 10 days, they are going to be doing major maintenance works, replacement, servicing. Once this is completed, Ghana Gas expects that they'll be able to scale up production to about 120 mmscf. And that for me is good news. It's a game changer. It's a cost-saving exercise. And it also ensures that we have adequate, reliable supply of gas, not just for power delivery, but for industrialization.
The maintenance work, which began on August 16, is currently 45 to 50% complete, according to Ghana Gas CEO Judith Ajoba-Blay.
In fact, we've already started with the maintenance. Today is the 5th day. So we started on 16th August. We plan to bring it back on 26th, which will be the 10th day. So we are midway through. And in fact, we are targeted to be doing about 40% or 45% of the work by midway, just to be conservative. And I'm glad to announce that we've exceeded that by about 5%. So we are about 50% of it, and we are happy. It's ongoing. We don't sleep here. All of us are here 24/7, ensuring that we bring the plant back to the people of Ghana for power generation and for industrial use.
The Energy Minister is optimistic its completion will consolidate gains in the power sector while intensifying efforts in the upstream sector driven by recent discoveries and growing interest from key players in Ghana's hydrocarbon industry.
The power situation is stabilized largely. We are seeing significant improvements. What we intend to do is to consolidate the gains that we've made and to ensure that we make further strides. We are not just limiting it to power. We're going to work very well in the upstream sector. ENI has made some good discoveries. The Jubilee partners are making very good progress. And the other big boys are expressing interest in our upstream hydrocarbons. And so clearly, it means that we are making a turnaround. The consistent decline that we've witnessed since 2019, we are trying to reverse that.
The maintenance shutdown is expected to end on August 26, 2025. The expected increase in gas production is set to drive further strides in Ghana's energy sector. Irama Smith, TV3 News, Atuabo.
Let's take you to Akwetia now, and you know that in the next few days we're going to be having a by-election. The concerns of security almost always comes up, and the IGP has been talking tough. So the Ghana Police Service has warned it would not tolerate any misdemeanor or any form of violence during the Akwetia by-election, which is slated for the 2nd of September. The IGP, Christian Tete Yohuno, announced that a combination of strategies, including the introduction of a prison on wheels, will be deployed to protect the process. Here's a story by Stanley Niblu.
Stakes are high ahead of the Akweta by-election. Political parties taking part in the polls have vowed to protect themselves, drawing lessons from the Yawaso West Wogon by-election and the Blekuma North rerun at some 19 polling stations. The Ghana Police Service has made clear it will no longer to pretend over violent elections, prompting the Police Management Board, POMAB, to adopt a bouquet of strategies to safeguard the exercise. As part of preparations, 600 officers drawn from various police commands across the country have undergone 5 days of rigorously intensified high-risk operational training at Chiramatin in the eastern region. The personnel, part of a larger 5,000-strong deployment, will be the first batch sent to Akweta on September 2, 2025. They will be armed throughout the electoral process and are mandated to open fire where deemed necessary following their training in precision shooting.
They have also been trained how to fire at targets so that they don't cause any casualty to, innocent people. We have the men who can handle this situation. And then our eyes are red for Akweta, and nobody should think of coming to cause trouble. No political party should mobilize men to come and foment trouble. And nobody should have in mind the intention of snatching a ballot box. We have prepared our men adequately to handle this situation.
In a simulation exercise, personnel were also trained in rappelling, a combat strategy involving descent from higher altitudes into hostile areas to restore calm.
That should we have any incidents at the polling stations where it will not be accessible by road, we can have a team go to the areas using ropes and a heli. As you can see, you saw different forms of rappelling. We took the men through so that should it happen that the areas they are rappelling into, they have no knowledge of the area, they will know how to go into the area. That was why you saw some of the trainees coming down very fast. You saw one coming down with his head and one coming and firing. Actually, the one who was coming and firing followed the one who came with his head because he looked at the area and saw certain threats which needed to be eliminated before the rappelling takes place. That is why the master rappeller also came down with his weapon and then fired.
Other exercises focused on intelligence-led operations to foil chaos, clamp down on hooligans, and ballot box snatching. For the first time, the Police Management Board will deploy the Black Maria, also known as the prison on wheels, during the elections.
There is going to be prison on wheels. That will be in Akweta. The moment you cause trouble, we arrest you and then we put you in the Black Maria.
In addition, 2,000 officers will undergo training in public order management next week before their final deployment to the constituency. Others will serve as backup teams. Director of the High Risk Operations Training Center, Superintendent Samuel Entry Akumia, gave further insight into election day activities.
Everything that we need to be able to succeed in the field, we've taken them through. Election violence, how to handle certain critical situations, VVIPs, because we know the big men will be there and we would have to also, as it were, offer that kind of protection. So we've virtually taken them through a holistic model, and we are very, very confident of the men that we are churning out for this Akweta by-election.
Right, so let's now go to the phone lines and try and get some perspective on this particular issue in the build-up to the Akweta by-election. Dr. Victor Doke is a security analyst and has joined us via phone for a quick chat. Doc, good evening and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Martin.
It looks as though, recent elections and the violence that, were recorded at those polling stations has become a test case for the current IGP. Akweta is in the offing. Would you say this is a key test to his competencies or about his competencies ahead of September 2?
Right, thank you very much. I think with regards to the test case, the Ablephanot was one. And if they did an evaluation and then aftermath assessment, they would have picked up one or two lessons of what went wrong, and then they would have built up with regards to Portia's by-election coming up. Now, with regards to the whole issue about preparations, the deployment of the 600 men to soften the ground up, in his own words, and then later on addition of about 2,000 as mentioned, it's in the right direction. Now, however, in the security space, there's always what they say, after you hear the first gunshot or you experience the first sign of troubles, your preparations are somewhat ineffective. So on that very day, the level of disturbance, if there should be, would test their preparations with regards to how they would be able to respond and then curb the violence. Now, we are hoping it won't get to that stage. With regards to all that they put in place, i.e. drones going to be deployed, manning of police stations, additional security measures should also be factored. One, a very comprehensive road checks every reasonable kilometer, conduct searches and vehicles that will be going in there, ban of motorbikes if they can be on that very day, ban wearing of smoke as much as possible so people cannot conceal, weapons in their smokes and all of that. With regards to whatever they will do with regards to arresting, those who commit trouble, it's also good. Now, what I wanted to hear more was those political elites who speak and incite the youth to engage in violence. What are they going to do about them? They should pick them up also without fear or favor. Misinformation and disinformation, how would they tackle that one? How would they monitor the cyberspace to ensure that those who put out information are not putting out wrong information to incite the public? So all these would have to be factored. It's not already done.
Right. Doug, when they started airing the story, many raised concerns about the fact that why is it that a simple process as just going out, queuing, voting and going home or waiting for the results would require the deployment of all these police officers? I mean, Akwetia has a history, we know, but in excess of about 5,000 police officers, now they are armed, they've actually been trained to shoot, etc. Wouldn't that be a bit too excessive for a simple electoral process?
It's supposed to be simple, as you described it, but unfortunately, the dynamics with regards to our elections has changed. The winner-takes-all syndrome is at play here. Thereby, you would expect that political parties would invest more and as such would go at any length to ensure that they win. Let's not forget what happened in Portia itself, the outstanding results, what came out of it, the litigation processes, the FTB report, the bench warrant was issued, the aftermath and all of this. So the stakes are really high. Now, either party wants to make a statement, and unfortunately, in doing so, people have come out to say they would take up the responsibility of protecting themselves, which shouldn't be the case. Now, how do we ensure that the trust that we will have for the security agencies will be upwards so that these political parties who have the intention of protecting themselves in court would reflect? It all boils down to how the strategy should be implemented. Ideally, we need an education, sensitization. The state agencies responsible for sensitization should also come up and then educate the people on that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Victor Doke. Clearly, we would still be engaging you in the coming days as we build up to September 2.
Meanwhile, the police have arrested 8 suspects in connection with the Ablekuma North election rerun violence. The Inspector General of Police, who disclosed this during an engagement with the Ghana Journalists Association, said they will be arraigned by Friday.
Journalists as well as some political figures were assaulted during the rerun of the Ablekuma North election in 19 polling stations on 11th July this year. Speaking during a meeting between the leadership of the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Journalists Association, the IGP revealed that some 8 suspects have been apprehended and are currently being processed for prosecution.
There were these assault issues that were mentioned, and then the Accra Regional Commander, as at yesterday, had got 8 suspects. 8 suspects have been arrested. Yesterday, they are being processed, and from the advice I had from the regional commander, means that tomorrow they will put them before court. Later, either tomorrow or Friday, one of these days, all these suspects will be put before court. So we are making progress.
The IGP also addressed concerns about the police officer who assaulted a journalist during the Ablekuma North election rerun. He clarified that, contrary to rumors, the officer had not been transferred but was interdicted.
When you are interdicted, your uniform is taken away from you. You cannot go back to work. But there's rumor going on that we have just transferred the policeman from where he is to another police station, which is never true. It is not true. When you are no more wearing uniform, the only thing is that to look for your village and go and stay in the village and think about what you did wrong. So maybe when people saw this police officer in his hometown or village, they thought that he has been transferred to his hometown, or we have asked him to come and hide over there. It is not so.
President of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Tumfo, demanded more from the police in the protection of journalists.
It's becoming so scary. And one may ask if journalism is a crime. The time has come for us to do everything possible to protect ourselves as the members of the Fourth Estate. Declare anybody who has the pendant and attitude of attacking the media, who doesn't have the temperament or the commitment in standing the media, and all they do is to chase or go after the media, attack the media, and inflict injury as enemies of democracy and press freedom. So why do we assault each other? Why should there be tension?
For his part, the IGP, Christian Tete Yohunu, reaffirmed the police service commitment to protecting journalists, particularly during the upcoming Akwatia by-election on September 2 this year.
Still on elections, the National Democratic Congress NDC has issued guidelines for the upcoming by-elections in the Tamale Central constituency following the sudden death of Dr. Murtala Mohammed Ibrahim in a fatal helicopter crash. A statement from the General Secretary of the party, Fifi Kwete, pegged the filing fee at 40,000 Ghana cedis. Well, coming up on your screens now are highlights of the guidelines. Nominations forms will be collected from the Northern Regional Office of the party. When completed, they will be submitted to the same office. The nomination form is pegged at 5,000 cedis and it will be cash upon collection, with the filing fee pegged at 40,000 cedis, cash only, and will be paid to the official party bank account. There are some exceptions, especially for female aspirants and persons living with disabilities who are entitled to a 50% reduction on the approved filing fee. So this is from the NDC Tamale Central Office. The opening of nominations on Friday, 22nd August to Sunday, August 24 this year, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Submission on Thursday, August 28, also 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The vetting, balloting and appeals all will happen on Sunday, August 31, and the time will be communicated, while the elections will be on September 6, Saturday, 2025.
In more news tonight, the Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission is cracking down on unlicensed courier services in the country. Over the past 2 days, the Commission has been at various vantage points in the capital, seizing motorbikes from riders who do not have licenses. Judith Brown reports.
Frustrated courier riders lined up at the underbridge in East Legon, pleading as their motorbikes were impounded by the Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission. The Commission is empowered to regulate the courier industry, ensuring that operators comply with the relevant laws and regulations. And those found operating without licenses face fines worth 600 Ghana cedis.
There are so many companies who are refusing to take license. So it has become imperative that we conduct this exercise to get them to comply.
But how important is licensing of courier services for riders? Public Relations Officer for the Commission, Nieboa Bergeson, explains it ensures safety.
The government needs to know what is going on within the sector. And then there are security issues also involved. There are things that they are licensed to carry and things that they are not actually allowed by law to carry. And we have realized that many illicit businesses, such as drug peddlers and even some other precious minerals people, are using the courier service to smuggle, items. It's not only that, we're also thinking about the security of consumers.
While riders whose motorbikes are seized struggle to pay fines to retrieve them, the bigger issue is that many courier service providers say they are unaware of the licensing requirement.
I was just passing by when I've been stopped that I should bring my key. I don't even know why they said I should bring my key. So I gave the key to them. Later they said we should produce the license for the courier. Meanwhile, some of us don't have any idea about this. So I think if there should be somebody they should hold responsible, I think it's the courier company, because they did not educate us.
I've never heard it before, and I didn't also ask, to be fair and to be honest.
Others say the operation is unfair because they were not given early notice.
If something like this will happen, at least they for announce givers, they for give us date or earlier on, or give us some man say, oh, ABR, till like this, if you don't get the license the way that they talk about now, at least this will what will happen. But all of a sudden, you go come off for house, one struggle for what you go chop, you go come now, then see, they catch you.
They should have a day that if you didn't come for the licenses, you have to face punishment. After that, then we can start seizing bicycles.
But the PRO has rebutted these claims, saying that the riders are well aware of the law.
We have been on a number of media houses to conduct education. We have also conducted meetings with these guys. There was a case in point where some of them being worked out on us. So now that the law has caught up with them, that's exactly what they will say. They will feign ignorance.
For now, riders who are unable to pay the fine will have their motorbikes sent to the police MTTD regional office for onward processing. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
In other news, the Health Committee of Parliament has called for immediate steps to recruit more health professionals to improve healthcare delivery across the country. Chairman of the committee, Mark Nawani, has blamed inadequate staffing as a major factor causing delay in attending to patients. He, however, warned against politicizing the assault of a nurse at the Ridge Hospital.
So who is in charge, bro? No, I mean, this is not needed.
There has been public outrage and split opinions following this viral video showing relatives of a patient physically attacking medical staff at the emergency ward of the Ridge Hospital. Concerning as it is, health authorities and groups have waded into the matter and condemned it. Chairman of the Health Committee has tackled what he sees as the root cause of the problem: inadequate health staff.
And the root cause of this problem, I know that nobody has spoken about it, but I'll speak about it. The root cause of this problem is the lack of medical staff, adequate medical staff in the facilities.
Mark Nawani then took on the minority on the Health Committee, accusing them of seeking to score cheap political points from nothing.
We unite as a nation. We unite as people to condemn what happened over there. And yet they are trying to say that these are people who are aligned with the National Democratic Congress. That is very, very unfortunate. We are calling on the police to issue some form of a statement on how far they've gone with their investigations and then their actions. And I hope that our friends at the minority should not be playing politics with the health of the people of this country.
With a 5-member committee set up to investigate the incident and make recommendations, the Health Committee has made an appeal to the police.
He even went further to state that he is going to set up a probe. That does not mean that the police should not do their work. We are calling on the police to issue some form of a statement on how far they've gone with their investigations and then their actions. The Health Committee of Parliament is with them in this trying moment.
A bigger conversation has been ignited, one that tackles the welfare of health professionals and how health officers treat their patients at the wards. It is expected that the outcome of the investigations will further strengthen hospital protocols and improve safety for both patients and health workers.
Come. Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have business, sports, entertainment all coming up.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN. Touch concentrated perfume.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, President John Dramani Mahama says Ghana is on track for another credit rating upgrade ahead of the next review. His optimism follows recent improvements in Ghana's ratings by S&P Global and Fitch Ratings after years of being classified as junk status. In May, S&P Global Ratings raised Ghana's foreign currency issuer credit rating from selective default to CCC+, citing progress in debt restructuring and macroeconomic stabilization. Fitch Ratings followed in June, upgrading Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating from restricted default to B- with a stable outlook. The Fitch upgrade came after the successful restructuring of $13.1 billion in Eurobond debt and ongoing talks over remaining external liabilities. These ratings mark a turnaround from previous years when Ghana's debt was deemed unsustainable and its credit status plunged. President Mahama believes another upward revision could be imminent.
We've been upgraded from junk status to B- with a stable outlook. And I'm certain that in the next review, we're going to be upgraded again.
The president was speaking during a visit to Japan, part of Ghana's broader push to deepen economic partnerships and attract foreign investment. He announced that the minimum capital requirement of $1 million for foreign investors has been scrapped, describing the move as a step towards making Ghana a more attractive destination.
Some barriers were put to foreign investment. You had to prove that you had brought in a certain amount of money to be classified as a foreign investor. In the reviewed Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, we're removing those minimal capital investments.
The trip included meetings with key business leaders and potential investors aimed at strengthening trade relations and securing support for Ghana's development agenda. BRICS may sound as the alternate route for Africa's economic liberation, but Minister of Education says Ghana's decision to be part must be subjected to national debate and high-level discussions while weighing the ramifications of breaking ties with the West. Haruna Idrisu expressed satisfaction of the current performance against other major trading currencies, emphasizing the need to sustain gains chalked.
How do we strengthen the Ghanaian cedi against other major foreign currencies? Through trade and not aid. And to throw it to the Ghanaian people whether Ghana wants to be part of BRICS. What are the benefits against the ramifications of breaking our ties with the West? That has to be subjected to some national debate and national discussions. Government just can't take a decision on that. We have to weigh what the benefits and the consequences will be. But increased trade and intra-Africa trade, I'm all for it. The Ghanaian currency have suffered some epileptic fall, as I've said, but at least President Mahama have done well. He's now the IGP. He has arrested the depreciation of the cedi. He's now the IGP, at least he's arrested the depreciation of the cedi, unlike those who promised and pledged and couldn't do it. What is important is sustaining it, not just for a few months, but it should be over a long period of time because it affects the cost of doing business and the cost of transacting business in Ghana.
Genius Lucy Limited, a Ghanaian company, has officially launched the third edition of the Luckiest Seasonal Draw in Accra. This exciting game, hosted on the National Lottery Authority's Caritas platform, aims to provide individuals with a chance to boost their finances for the upcoming festive season.
Running from now to December 2025, this unique opportunity allows people to participate in the draw. Lucky ticket winners to get exciting prizes such as cash, electronic appliance, vouchers, among others. Managing Director of Genius Lucai Limited, expressed appreciation to the NLA through its Caritas platform for the support and guidance in running the lottery.
We have created the luckiest to affect the ordinary person, the everyday person. This year, we are giving as much as 2.5 million cedis to the luckiest ticket winners. We would want to say thank you to the National Lotteries Authority, the Caritas team, for the support, the guidance that they've given us till date.
Head of Media Relation for the Luckiest Draw promises to make this year's lottery more accessible for participants.
I urge all Ghanaians to participate, because the good thing is, if you play and you don't win, the monies that you pay will be dedicated towards good causes, and then you see them within your communities, and then at least you know that the monies that you contributed are not being used by some illegal people somewhere to line their pockets, but they will go into national development.
Ambassador for the lottery draw urged the public to patronize it, as it is a way of giving back to the community.
Who doesn't become happy when you find money in your pocket? That is what it is, and the luckiest is one of the opportunities to do so. For me, it's one of the greatest games that brings that opportunity to your doorstep. You just dial *712# and you don't know what happens next. If your luck shines, you make a lot of money.
Ghanaians who wish to participate in the draw can obtain tickets at prices ranging from 1 Ghana cedi to 5,000 Ghana cedis simply by dialing *712# on any network.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. We'll bring you updates on the currency and commodities market, but up next is sports.
It is brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Reku Ampofo. Ghana Premier League champions Viviani Gold Star Sporting Club opened their pre-season campaign on a flying note after beating Asante Kotoko 2-1 in the 2025 Ghana League Club Association Top 4 tournament. My colleague Mutala Yakubu was at the venue and came up with this report.
So the first game of the 2025 Ghana Top 4 has ended here at the University of Ghana Stadium, and Asante Kotoko have been defeated by the Viviani Gold Stars by 2-1. It was a cagey encounter between the league champions and the FA Cup winners, but it started pretty well for the Porcupines when Albert Amua, their striker, raised on onto a loose ball to tap home or slot past goalkeeper Kobe to make it 1-0 for Asante Kotoko. And their joy was short-lived because there was a defensive error at the back for them, and defender Samba O'Neill brought down Atakumi of Viviani Gold Stars, and that resulted in the penalty. Atakumi stood up and converted to make it 1-1, and that ended the first half. In the second half, it started in similar fashion as there was a lot of intensity, and it was Gold Stars who were gifted a goal by Asante Kotoko. Miscommunication between defender Henry Ansu and goalkeeper Kamara resulted in an own goal, and Gold Stars from there defended their lines. They were very resolute and made sure they see the game out to win by 2-1. It means that the Porcupine Warriors would have to wait till Friday when they play Heart of Lions to see if they can get their first ever win in this tournament. Mutala Yakubu from the University of Ghana Stadium for TV3.
Well, that was Mutala Yakubu with the report there. Let's get the full complement of the results. Kotoko, they're losing by 2-1 to current champions of the Premier League, Viviani Gold Stars. Hearts of Oak are facing Hearts of Lions. Just about 15 minutes or so left in that one. They lead by a 1-0. And then on Friday, Gold Stars face Heart of Oak, Heart of Lions versus Asante Kotoko. You can get updates of these games on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. To some more stories where Ghanaian international Felix Afenajan has joined Turkish second-tier side Ahmedspor on a season-long loan with an option to buy. The player is expected to join the team on an initial loan deal before a permanent transfer at the end of the season could be activated depending on his performances. The 22-year-old burst onto the scene after a heroic display on his Serie A debut for AS Roma in 2021, where he scored a brace against Genoa, becoming the first player born in 2003 to find a net in the league. However, after limited opportunities in the Roma first team, he moved to Cremonese before spending last season on loan at Juventus' next generation side. Let's go overseas where Alexander Isak and Newcastle over the last 24 hours have taken to social media to reveal what exactly has caused the player's absence from the Magpies' first Premier League game in the 2025-2026 season. We have more details for you in the following 3 Sports report.
The Swedish striker has accused the club of breaking promises, insisting that when trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. Isak, who joined Newcastle in 2022 for a club record 65 million from Real Sociedad, has scored 54 goals in 86 appearances. But despite having 3 years left on his contract, he is now demanding an exit. The forward was absent from Newcastle's opening day draw against Aston Villa and also skipped the PFA Awards Gala, where he was named in the Premier League Team of the season. In a statement posted on Instagram, Isak thanked his teammates but stressed that the issues with the club have been ongoing for a long time. He wrote, "The reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. Change is in the best interest of everyone." Newcastle, however, responded firmly, expressing their disappointment with Isak's comment. The club insisted that no assurances were given for him to leave, stressing that Alex remains under contract and that they want to keep their best players. This draw comes just 19 days after Newcastle rejected 110 million bid from Liverpool. And with the Magpies set to face Liverpool in their second league game, all eyes will be on how the Isak saga unfolds.
It will be on Monday between Liverpool and Newcastle. My name is Ray Kwampofo, and that's how we wrap up the sports segment.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyled and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil, powered by 3 Entertainment.
Good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, award-winning Ghanaian filmmaker Shirley Frimpong-Manso is set to make her debut at the 2025 Toronto International Film Festival with her first Nollywood feature, Stitches. Produced by Chris Ode under the BRS Studios, the film has earned an official selection at one of the world's most prestigious film festivals, marking a major milestone in Frimpong-Manso's illustrious career. Speaking on the project, Frimpong Mansell described Stitches as a story that deeply moved her, a sentiment that underscores her commitment to emotionally resonant storytelling. Her body of work is known for its compelling narratives, high production values, and authentic portrayals of contemporary African life. And now let's bring you some tidbits around the world of entertainment and arts. Fast-rising Ghanaian music sensation Raven has officially unveiled his highly anticipated debut EP, Feelings of Raven. Produced by Grammy-nominated hitmaker Kill Beats, the 6-track project fuses Afrobeats and Amapiano and the rich West African rhythms, delivering a vibrant and emotional listening experience. Feelings of Raven features standout tracks like Fire, Fever, My Everything, and Dear Harriet, each offering a unique glimpse into Raven's evolving sound and storytelling.
Fire, you be my melody, you give me energy.
For Raven, this EP is more than just music. It's a raw and relatable journey through love, longing, and the emotional roller coaster that defines the youth. With undeniable talent and a sound primed for international stages, Raven is set on taking his craft global.
Every line in certain songs, everything that I spoke about are things that I've experienced and things that I would like to experience in the coming days. So if you're listening to Feelings of Raven, these are stories that are very relatable to everyone because
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you so much, Noella. Coming up, international news.
Gunmen in northwest Nigeria have stormed a mosque, killing Muslim worshippers in what the local government has called a reprisal attack. Police in Katsina State said 17 worshippers were shot dead by the assailants, known locally as bandits, but other reports from the region say the death toll is higher. The mosque, located in the village of Ongwang Mantau, was attacked on Tuesday because local residents had ambushed and killed a number of bandits 2 days earlier.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Portia Gabor. Do join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana tonight. Good evening.
La 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 la.